I got one stock that is really looking poised for a lot of momentum in the last 3 months of 2025, and two stocks as well that are more familiar. These aren't flashy tech stocks like Nvidia or Palantir. It's a stock in the gaming space, Las Vegas Sands, and a stock in the financial sector, IBKR Interactive Brokers. So let's take a look, starting with LVS. Recently had earnings here. They had a little benefit of reopening of travel and tourism in Asia. That benefit has pretty much been seen for a while now. It did have a pretty rocky road after tariffs, but you know, this isn't a stock that's been on a tear like Nvidia, but it's definitely a stock that is not in a downtrend. So at some point, it's going to break out if we look on the monthly chart here. But I'm not just focused on this technically, I'm focused on the earnings as well. They had solid revenue of almost 2 billion, up a little bit from last year, and it has recovering margins and cash flow. They have expansion into markets like Macau and Singapore, and it does offer stability. It has a dividend, you can see right here, to keep you comfortable while you buy it and owning it, depending on the size of your portfolio if you're looking for dividend stocks. But even if you're not, just the fact that you can get in this with a really modest risk of maybe $1 or $2 per share and have a lot of upside potential makes this a pretty good vehicle. Even though it's up significantly from the April tariff lows, it's up 80%. It's not really always about how much a stock is up. It can be more about, can you get in at a good risk reward entry, and are you in a name that hasn't already benefited from massive tailwinds like Nvidia, like Palantir, that has all the eyeballs on it. So that's LVS. And the next stock is IBKR. Very similar breakout structure right here. You could buy over this 68 level. Tight stop, recommended. Q2 earnings just came in, net revenue of over $1 billion, adjusted earnings per share of $1.51. You can see right here, it's actually 51 cents. But it is a little below estimates that still have the price movement to the upside. So as much as I'd like to delve into exactly which analysts gave which estimate and how this 51 cents came about, what I generally do and what I think most extremely successful traders, or you could call them month to 3 to 5 month investors, shorter term investors, do is they look at the price reaction to the earnings, which is very positive. Did have this wick down, but it's been super positive. It's been on a run. And what makes them stand out fundamentally, not just technically, is their low cost structure. They're a technology platform. They're not a software name. Software names have been getting crushed recently, like CRM, Salesforce is down a lot now, ServiceNow is down a lot. It's not really the best time to buy software names until they bottom, but IBKR is at the intersection of software and finance, and banks are doing well. So for that reason, IBKR is doing well. And it's not also a hot tech stock. It's not Nvidia or Palantir, like I mentioned. It's a stock that has not had all the eyeballs on it. So they're growing their earnings and cash flow. This isn't a moonshot venture capital play. So if you're looking for a well-run financial services company, you've probably heard of IBKR Interactive Brokers. Whether it's markets ups and downs, if we look on the monthly chart, this thing has just been going bananas. It's not to say this will go up forever, but I think it's a safer bet right now than some of these stocks like Nvidia that have just been on a tear. And at some point, it has to digest a little bit. So that's IBKR. And the last company here is Comfort Systems, ticker symbol FIX, which recently had earnings here. Revenue hitting almost 700 million, earnings per share around $66 here, which beat the estimate. I would say this is not going to just, go to the $1,000 level overnight, even though this move was insane, about 30% on that earnings, just because stocks that go up a lot needs to digest, which is what it did. So there is an opportunity to buy it with tight risk reward here. It is a dividend stock. It's not going to have the wild swings of a tech stock. All these stocks, IBKR, LVS, and FIX, are slower movers, which makes them a little more safe. This has a history of beating estimates, and they're having ongoing infrastructure investments and steady demand for maintenance, new installations. I wouldn't say that you generally want to look for stocks in the HVAC space as growth stocks, but that's more because that's a bias that we have. We always want tech stocks. We want the sexy new technology. But in terms of earnings or beating earnings, this is the stock. So this is like a sweaty, you know, uh, blue collar, dirty jobs type stock, and it's doing excellent. So while everyone's looking at the flashy Palantirs, eventually those are going to take a turn back. I can't say that enough. And when those take a turn back, you want a stock that has steady cash flow, low debt, and a history of beating estimates. So that's Fix. They have commercial and residential clients. And how do you play these? Well, look for dips, look for, better yet, opportunities to buy where it's just barely breaking out. You can see on ABKR, we're just barely breaking out. You can see on LBS, we're just barely breaking out. So you're not buying it when it's way overextended, up here, it's already up 10% or more. This one is only up, this can't be more than a few percent from 50 to 54. Yeah, 4 or 5% at max. So those are the three stocks I would take a look at. Maybe just take the foot off the gas if you've been really interested in Palantir, NVIDIA, and the market as a whole could digest a little bit. SPY is very heavily crowded in terms of people long SPY, speculators. Meanwhile, the Russell, the small caps, are a little bit less crowded, so more shorted. So we kind of expect at some point that to flip, where the actual price of the small caps go up and the actual price of the NASDAQ and the SPY goes down. And when that happens, it's really important to be in names that are not all, new technology, high-flying names like NVIDIA. You kind of want to look at, the slower, less sexy names like Fix, HVAC, commercial HVAC company that continues to beat earnings. Las Vegas Sands Gaming is a recession-proof industry, like it or not. And then IBKR, well, that's what we use for investing and trading, and it's a low-cost structure technology asset light business where they have a bunch of engineers and they're just moving money around. So also a pretty good stock to be in. Let me know down below if there's any comments you have, and if you could subscribe to make this channel grow. Watching it is great, but when you subscribe, it attracts new viewers, which helps me do a better job to make these videos as complete as possible. So appreciate that. Like the button if you like it, and I will see you in the next one. You guys are awesome.